All right, today is July the 7th. It is 80 some degrees, pretty hot. Hasn't rained a whole lot right where I'm at here. So we are going to take a look and see if we can get some drought notes before the rain, which they are forecasting later today. On the left here, we have 99M, which is a new one from Golden Harvest for this year. And then right here on the split on the right is OOU71, which is it would have been new last year with Golden Harvest. Don't see a whole lot of difference with these so far. If we go out here, we're seeing a little bit of nitrogen burn from the urea that was put on this field. But for the most part, things are doing okay. If you actually want to see something interesting, take a look. Must have got over on this row when it was getting sprayed, which caused some compaction. And boys and girls, that is what happens when you have root compaction. So we're going to have a little bit of a hiccup in the data here probably. If you compare this row to this row, there is a sizable difference here just based upon compaction. So again, I talked about compaction in one of my other videos earlier this spring. You can go check that one out. But here's another example of why that's so important. So this row clearly got run on, probably with the sprayer early post. And then the corn came back, but you can really tell that it is drought stressed more than this row or this row. Just because we don't have the roots, right? So all that compaction has really restricted the root growth, which has caused, those roots to not be as able or efficient to go get the water that it needs right now. So, yeah, compaction is super important. Don't forget that. Try to minimize it as much as you can. But what I thought was interesting that I would show you guys is we have something going on right here and right here. So we had some sort of damage here on this plant. I'm gonna assume tire tracks. But when this damage occurred, it was actually rolled up, which is why you have a mirror image on this side versus that side. So when this damage occurred, this plant was rolled up like this. And then when this leaf unfurled, it again showed that mirror image. Just like when you were a little kid cutting up those snowflakes, and you'd have it folded up, do some designs in them with scissors, and then unfold them, and you would see mirror images. That's basically what we're seeing right here. The other really cool thing is look at this plant. This is all healthy tissue, and we're 2 or 3 leaves from the point where this emerged. So, yeah, we have a lot of healthy tissue right here, and all of that photosynthesis is making its way back to the main plant through all of these little channels. How resilient are plants where we're seeing that type of damage, but this leaf is still photosynthesizing and sending all of its goodies right back to the main plant. Super cool. Hey, don't worry, I won't make you go through every single side-by-side in this plot. But I will go through and I'll point out some differences that I see, maybe some key products that I see for us moving forward. Gonna be pretty cool. It is hot. I just got out here, I ate lunch, came out here, and I didn't think it was too bad. Holy smokes, is it getting hot. So we're gonna see some definite leaf rolling here very shortly. This one right here is a new 104-day 04M93 by Golden Harvest. This is an AA trait version, the old 3120, if you guys ever go back to the numbering system. But anyway, I like the looks of this one. It seems to be a pretty vigorous plant. Get out here a little ways, you're gonna see it's a fair bit taller than this one over there, which is G03U08, which is one of our flagship products. So it's a little bit taller than that one. We are seeing, again, some of that leaf rolling, which it is, again, just brutally hot right now. So I am not surprised. We need a rain. Right here at this plot, we are at what? Right at 2 inches, maybe 2.1 since June 1st. So a lot of folks, a lot of people across Ohio and Indiana, the areas that I primarily cover, they've had way too much rain. And while right here had a stretch of that in May, since June 1st, it's actually been few and far between. A tenth here, 2/10 there, getting everybody through. But as you can see here with this corn, I mean, we could use the rain real bad, and it is supposed to rain later today, and as hot and humid as it is, I can't imagine we're gonna miss out on it. So hopefully it comes. Anyway, there's the plot. We're gonna continue to go through it. All right, let's take a look at a couple of these noticeable differences that we're seeing as we go through the plot here. First is going to be 08U00 versus 08U98. Both of these are 108-day corns. They're both about a year old. We use the one on the left, 08U00, more than the one on the right, 08U98. There's a few different reasons. One is trait. This one is a above ground only trait versus above and below ground. And we frankly don't have that much corn on corn acres across much of my geography. Don't get me wrong, we have plenty, but just in comparison, it's a relatively small percentage of the acres compared to the rotated acres. But what you're seeing here is a pretty sizable difference in leaf rolling and what I would consider drought tolerance. So here on the left, very minimal leaf rolling from 08U00 versus here on the right, much more leaf rolling out of 08U98. I would suspect that this one has worse drought tolerance than the one on the left here, 08U00. There is a counterpoint, which I guess I can discuss. The counterpoint to that is, well, a corn plant that's rolling its leaves is protecting itself better than a corn plant that is not rolling its leaves. So perhaps the corn plant that is rolling its leaves actually has a better degree of drought tolerance because it is protecting itself versus a corn hybrid that's not protecting itself. I don't really subscribe to that train of thought. I think that if it's showing stress, it's likely under stress, and therefore probably not quite as well equipped to handle it. Here's another interesting side-by-side. So here on the left, we have 10U97, and here on the right, we have 10L16. This field has been planted to 10L16 before and done very, very well. This year, 10U97, which is right here, is also the corn around the entire outside of this plot. This is the hybrid that has the Apivio Energy seed treatment trial with it here as well. So really good matchup here between one that's been very good for us in the past versus one that we think is going to be awfully good for us in the future. So 10L16 on the right here is known for its really high yields. G10U97 here on the left is known for really good yields, but also being a little bit more stable. Last year in plots, we saw a very limited difference, and I think 10U97 actually beat it out a little bit. One of the things that we're looking for here is stability with 10U97. You can put it on various different acre types, whereas 10L16 is a little bit more pigeonholed into that highly productive acre, and we kind of want to avoid the very, very, very poorly drained acre. This one is also a little bit more susceptible to some diseases, and we clean that up here with 10U97. So one of the things that I really preach and talk a lot about is if I can be close to the same level on yield between two hybrids and offer way less, what's the word I'm looking for? Way less risk. There it is. Way less risk in terms of standability or disease or placement or whatever. That's what we want to do. If I can achieve the same level of yield or even a better level of yield, right? But at least the same level of yield with less risk, less bad days, less phone calls that I get about a problem, that is what we're going for. So I do evaluate a lot of that. It's kind of hard to tell right now because we're not at the stages where we're seeing a whole lot of disease and everything quite yet. That will come. You'll probably get inundated with content on tar spot and gray leaf spot and northern corn leaf blight and all of the above. So stay tuned for that once we get later on into the growing season. Next matchup, we got 10M87 versus 10B61 on this side. So 10B61 has been really good for us for a couple years. The idea here is that 10M will likely be the replacement for it. Right now, it's looking like 10M might be a little bit more sensitive to the heat and drought stress that we have. So look at our level of rolling here with these versus the level of rolling over here with these. Now, we're seeing some with 10B, so let's not pretend like it's perfect, but the amount is going to be a lot higher here with 10M. Neither of these hybrids are really being positioned as a true, drought prone, put it on your droughty soils type of hybrid. In fact, these are more targeted for that wetter acre, that heavy clay acre, which across the geography that I handle is a very important acre. We have a lot of wet clays. These are timber soils, not prairie soils. So we do fight wet clays quite a bit. I get really nitpicky with corn. With 10B61, it's been a great corn hybrid for us. I have planted it before. I would not be scared to plant it, but it is slower out of the ground. It's a little bit of a slower emerger. So again, going back to that risk management thing, if I can get the same level of yield out of 10M as I can with 10B and clean up just a few of those small imperfections, I'm gonna do that. That's what's best for us. That's what's best for the customer. That's what's best for everybody involved. So that is what we are hoping to see out of 10M87. That said, if 10M comes in way under 10B in terms of yield, we're not going to move forward with it. We're going to continue with the ones that have been doing well for us. Just because something's new doesn't mean that we are going to really push it hard in our geography. That's why you guys have me. That's why I have my job. That's why I evaluate hybrids here locally. All right, wrapping up today's video. And I just thought I would go out here and show you what I mean by we need some rain. These leaves are really rolling now. It got super hot. Hasn't started raining yet. Hopefully it comes, but yeah. Gives you an idea of how quick corn will roll up as soon as it gets hot and dry.